Well, from the last video, I won't dwell too much on the overthrow of Mossadegh and all of that and its relevance to as far as the date goes on the anniversary of that overthrow and my birthday and all those stuff. Right now, I just want to just introduce some things to you, some general thoughts that I have, things that I benefited from. The timing was right. Another thing that was wonderful that happened to me was the PBS airing of Bill Moyer's interviews with Joseph Campbell, and called The Power of Myth. And I didn't catch them when they were being aired for the first time. I did catch maybe half an episode, but I didn't pay attention. It was not too much longer that I went and watched the interviews. Of course, this is the transcript of the interviews. And then I started reading some of other Joseph Campbell's other works. And he had, at the time, he had another video series that was available, Transformations of Myth Through Time. Watched those, and I think it was, again, the question of religion, traditions, myth, I think was very helpful at that time. And I was very fortunate to come across it. And if there was, a handful of things that I would recommend for Americans to go back to would be to take a listen and watch some of his talks. And, whether agree or disagree, but I think it would be good. So this is another thing that Bill Moyers had done, and I was very fortunate to come across it. There's a new series now, well, not new, but the Joseph Campbell Foundation had done another series of his talks and seminars and stuff under the title Mythos, and it's 15 hours. So if you get a chance, watch these, but especially Power of Myth. And just remember that it was aired in late 1980s, and so just kind of keep that date in mind. This is one of his other works, and he's got multiple works that you should check out. Of course, I'm in the OU library, so I've just gone to the shelves here and picked up these books to tell you about it before I forget. So I have actually copies of Power of Myth and Bill Moyer's World of Ideas that I bought and left for my son, or at least they have it on their shelves. And one of the most unfortunate things and toughest things for me during this project that I'm doing is to make sure that my son doesn't know anything about it, my family don't know anything about it. So it makes it really, really challenging. They don't know. All they know is that I've told them I'm very interested in issues of human rights, and I'm hoping that very soon I'll be doing something in that regard. So that's unfortunate that I have to hide it from them, but I think that's the best thing right now. And on the conversation that I told you Bill Moyers had with Sheldon Woolen, Chris Hedges just did a 8-part conversation with Sheldon Woolen last year, and Mr. Woolen is still sharp, even at a late age. So, and it's available on YouTube. You can watch those. I'm sorry, I'm looking at these names to see if there's anything else I should say. Of course, like I said, a lot of these people are familiar, will be familiar to all of you. Elaine Pagels on Gnostic Gospels, and of course, I've mentioned Persian poetry and its meaning to me. So anytime something comes up that has Sufi or Gnostic or Irfan connotations, I pay attention to those. Works in physics and physicists and cosmology, and those are just wonderful because you look out there in this vast universe and what what a beautiful planet Parvardigar has given us as a cradle for us to flourish in, and it saddens me that the wrong-headed culture that we are in now only emphasizes consumerism and not so much emphasis on the fact that we need to share this blessing with others while acknowledging that we have to tame our appetite. We have to learn that this is not a zero-sum game. There is so much for everybody, provided we're large-hearted enough to acknowledge that and share it with others. So let's see. I already talked about Forrest McDonald. Like I said, I fell in this loop and just wanted to learn more and more about the American history, and I was lucky enough to come across people from different angles looking at them. You know, you look up here, Noam Chomsky, and again the fact that I was a single parent. I think because I believed in working and it was important for me to work. I didn't have the luxury of being, or didn't want to be dogmatic. So that was definitely a blessing. So hopefully, if you get around to it, take a look at these, and of course the list of authors, and not necessarily authors, scientists, authors, philosophers, people that Bill Moyers has interviewed in the second volume of this work. And I'm almost positive you will find them beneficial. Well, we'll visit more later on.